All right, so the first thing for building the chess pieces, we're going to use a plane to put an image on to then trace, basically. So you're going to add a plane and rotate the plane 90 degrees on the x-axis. I would need to create a standard material. Let's call this one trace. And I'm going to add that trace, the image that we're going to use to trace the chess pieces into there. And there we go. Now it just needs to be arranged and also stretched out. So I'm going to move this and put it onto the baseline. Okay. Something like that. Okay. And stretch it out. There it looks. I like the image. Just double check it. Something like that. All right, so let's start with the pawn, and we're going to add a cylinder. First cylinder's over there. Okay, that's like a pretty good width, actually. For this part, we just need to get the width right. Looks pretty good. Now they need to show the edges so you can see why we're going to take the lid off of this. So see this, these segments aren't good for modeling extrusions from the top. So I'm going to go back to polymesh and make it open-ended. Then go to the tools and edges. Double click to select the entire loop and or border, and then fill the border. You can do the same thing for the bottom. I'm going to fill the border. Also, for the bottom, let's do an insert there so that when we do mesh smooth, that it won't it'll hold that edge. I'm going to select the top polygon and move it down to match the base. Oops, I missed an edge. Try that again. Just select. Okay. All right. So the rest of the way for this, we could just extrude, move, and scale this top polygon to trace the contour of the pawn. So extrude, and we'll move it down to. Now I'm going to switch to the front view. I want to match it up with the contour. So I'm going to shrink it in using the middle dot to scale it uniformly. Extrude and catch the beginning of this. So it's just extrude, move, move. Gotta move to move, and then scale. So there's a lot of repetition here. Let's see. Okay. Just in a little bit. All right, so I think I need just a little bit of an extra extrusion here, just a tiny one, just to try to hold this crease right here. That's the one, and extrude. This one's just above that. I'm going to just stretch that out all the way out. Okay. Okay, so you could use W for move and R for scale. Remember when you're scaling, make sure you drag from the center so it's uniform. Reason why, if you can see back here in perspective, if you scale it from the side here, it's just going to stretch it sideways. You want to stretch from the middle so it's uniform. Okay, W for the move, R for scale, extrude, F to zoom to the selection, and I'm just scrolling with my mouse. Let's see. Oh, I lost the selection. I'm going to go back to perspective. Select it. Go back to the front. Hit F. Scale it in. Move it down. Okay, so we'll go back to perspective. Let's take a look at this. Okay, let's add a mesh smooth. See what it looks like. Turn off the edges. Okay, let's turn off that back plane for a second. Take a look. Okay, it looks pretty good. Maybe add one more subdivision. It's pretty nice. All right, so I think this looks pretty good, but I just wanted to go over how if you needed to add more segments. I'm going to turn off this. I'm going to exit out the mesh smooth just so you could see how you could maybe add, if you needed more edges somewhere. Let's just say uh, maybe wanted this bottom base part to be a little bit sharper at the bottom so that there's just more of an edge. So you could go back to tools and go to edges, select one edge, then select the ring. Select the ring, I said. Select the ring, there it is, okay. And then you can connect, and that will add another loop, and you can move that loop. Of course, you could scale it if you needed to. In this case, we don't. Just wanted to add another edge there, so when we go to mesh smooth, that it's a better edge. You can see. Kind of hold that bottom edge a little better. Okay, and if you wanted more of a crease, say in here, then I'm going to turn off mesh smooth. Show the edges. Say if I wanted this to be more of a crease here and here, you just add more detail. So for this, I'm going to add, I'll go back to the edges. Not that, I don't want to double click. I just want to select one. Just want to select one. Select the ring and connect. I could leave that in the middle, or I could move it, to one edge or the other. I could scale it, maybe scale it in a little bit. Now you can see with the mesh smooth, it'll give it more of a crease there. All right, so that's it for the pawn.